Hi, I'm Julie, and this is entry number 7 of my video diary, A Year in the Life of an Elementary Spanish Teacher. And this week's reflection really stems from an activity that I did in both 3rd and 4th grade, and that observation of just how different each grade level is, each age with kiddos, and it's always something that I marvel at and find really interesting as a teacher. The activity was a greeting game, inside-outside circle. So I formed them I split the class in two, and I have an inside circle and then an outside circle. And I hit the music, and which is a great opportunity to bring in music from a variety of different countries. And I have one circle rotate, so they move, whereas the other circle stays still. And I usually switch it off. We do a couple of rounds inside and then a couple of rounds outside of people moving. And when the music stops, when I stop the music, they have to greet the person that they're opposite. So it's a great way for everyone to be involved, everyone to be engaged at the same time in the greeting activity, to practice those interpersonal skills, hi, how are you? And that emotions vocabulary, I'm well, I'm hot, I'm thirsty, etc. So it's a really fun greeting game to do. And it was fascinating to watch the differences between my 3rd graders doing this activity and my 4th graders. My 3rd graders are still, they're like little puppies. They're still really sweet, and, they're very earnest in doing the activity. They moved around the circle really carefully, and they were really engaged in doing the greeting with each other, really listening to each other as they answered the question. My 4th graders, on the other hand, were still engaged in the activity, but as they moved around the circle, they were dancing, they were striking these cool poses, very pre-middle school behaviors. The noise level was at least twice, if not 3 times the level of the 3rd graders doing the same activity. They were so much more animated. They were definitely more dramatic, like I said, that pre-middle school behavior. And it was just a very different energy level. And it was really funny to watch. I have 3rd grade block and then 4th grade block, so I got to see one right after and the other, this kind of different energy and different entry into the same activity, which is always interesting as a teacher, right? And of course, what that makes me reflect on is, really knowing your kiddos and what they're like at different age levels, so that you're choosing and designing activities that really meet them where they are at those different grade levels. And it certainly speaks to classroom management too, in terms of really anticipating what it's going to feel like and what it's going to be like, even with the same activity. So it's just really fascinating to watch and compare. And again, like I said, to reflect. My 4th graders really feed off of that social piece. Not that my 3rd graders don't, or even my kindergartners, but 4th graders enter social dynamics very differently. And so really taking that into consideration. And just as an aside, a really great book on this is Yardsticks, which is published by Responsive Classroom and goes through each age level and the different social dynamics and academic challenges that are strengths for each age level, and what kinds of things they're interested in. And though it was written for really the Gen Ed classroom, there's so much that applies across the board. So I highly recommend it. So at any rate, I would love to hear your thoughts on your kiddos and different grade levels and ages. You certainly put that in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye.